That is a moment in my life that I will never forget. It's like you step into a dream. You're literally walking onto the set of this show that you've seen in so many different ways on your TV. It's like one of the most special things I've ever experienced. I can't be thankful enough for that. Like my time was short, but like that moment is just so vibrantly living in my head. 'Cause I just couldn't believe it was happening. I was like, this is it. Like this is the real deal. It's happening.
What is poppin', y'all? We are back with another episode of the Squid Game, the Challenge Season 2 Aftermath Podcast. I'm your host, DeAndre from Season 1. Thank you all for joining. And today, I got a special guest. This man knows how to mix on the mic. He knows how to flip the turntables. And he had the tables turned on him on this show. You know, the roles were reversed a little bit. But without further ado, I introduce Mr. Shahn, player 403 in the building. What's poppin'?
What's good, everybody?
What's going on, Shahn? How you doing today?
Doing good, man. No complaints. Chilling out here in LA and getting ready for the next batch of episodes to come out. About to head to Philly. Gonna kick it with you. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be lit. Are you gonna watch the episodes at midnight, or you wait until like the next day?
I'm, I don't know. I'll probably watch them with the rest of the. I like watching it with the people because, I mean, obviously I'm not in the episodes, sadly, so I don't have as much investment in there. But it's really dope. It's different watching a reality TV show with like people that you actually know because you have such a higher level of empathy for them.
Oh yeah, no, you feeling the emotions right with them, so it's like they're
Yeah,
both going through it.
yeah, exactly.
And so I'm gonna go through your bio real quick. I don't know if you had a chance. You probably looked at it a few times, but I'm gonna go through it with you. So you're a management consultant. Explain that.
Yeah, management consultant is basically someone that gets hired by a company to come and solve problems. So I basically specialize in the communications, media, and tech industries. And let's say a company is like, hey, we need to implement some new software to help our engineers work faster. Can you come up with a way that'll, make this run more effectively? So we'll come in, analyze the situation, pitch them out what they think they should do. If they like it, then they'll hire us to actually implement it, and then we do, and then we're on our way to the next client. And that's basically a management consultant.
Y'all heard it from him first. If y'all looking to be a management consultant, holla at him. He'll put you on game. Or if any schools out there need somebody to give a talk to their college students, he's there too, I'm sure.
Facts.
So, my man's, you already said you in LA, a Cancer, and when you're not providing strategic advice to tech companies, a full-time EDM producer and DJ.
That is right. That is right. That is my real passion. That is my real love. When I'm not doing my day job, I'm either writing music or creating content to put on my social media page to help push my music. It is a labor of love. I truly believe that if money was not an option for everyone, we would all pursue the arts in some way or the other, whether it be painting, singing, poetry, writing music, etc. I think we as a human race are just so much happier when we're in the arts.
100% agree, man. I'm an actor myself, and I sing and dance too. So, if I ain't have to do my regular job, then I would be taking classes and always going out and doing shows and writing stuff and putting stuff on screen, which I kind of am now. It's divulged into my regular life as doing my whole content thing. But yeah, I understand that, and that you said it better than anyone else I've ever heard say that before. So I might have to steal that from you. So,
Take it, quote it, clip it.
hey, no, that gonna be clipped now. So, Shahn, first, what's your DJ name?
Shahn Bendz. So, I want to stay true to my first name and let people know that I'm ethnic Sean. So I got two H's in my name, Shahn. And then the Benz came from just my love for cars. I was literally in an IKEA in Burbank trying to think of what my DJ name would be, and I knew I wanted it to be something like that. I personally love Audis, but Sean Audi doesn't sound as cool as Shahn Bendz. And my dad loved Mercedes Benz when he was younger, and I don't really get along with him that well. But I thought that'd be a cool opportunity to take something that's maybe doesn't have a positive connotation with it and turn into something positive. So now I'm Sean Benz.
That's lit, man. My dad was a DJ too. His DJ name was DJ Crave. He actually used to DJ for Mary J. Blige way back in the day.
Oh,
So
snaps. Okay. Okay. Love
yeah,
that.
so I kind of did a little DJ in the college, and I took his name for the college DJing and whatnot, and it was cool. But
Yeah.
I since
Okay.
have dropped that name because I don't DJ anymore. So, But that's what's up, man. Y'all check out the set, man. Check him out. Check out the set. And so first, I gotta ask, Shahn, why did you decide to apply for season 2 of Squid Game: The Challenge?
Yeah, man. So it was really funny. Obviously I love the show. And then, we had these things called the Squid Game trials that came to LA. And I was like, wow, we should just go check those out. And so we went to it. Honestly, I wasn't even gonna go because it was like a rainy day, and I was like, this is gonna be a dumb experience anyways. I don't know what to expect. So we decided to go anyways, and I go to the Squid Game Trials LA, and it's like a whole production. It's something I could not have imagined. It was so dope. And then lo and behold, I end up winning the whole thing out of like 40 different competitors. And I was like, oh, was really fun. And then at the end, they're like, hey, the grand prize is, priority application to season two. And I was like, what? So I was like, I have to do that. And, at that time, I was still very early in my DJ career. And, I want to make it be known everything I do is to elevate my status as a DJ and a producer. That is my main focus. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to do that. So I applied for it, and yeah, and nothing, didn't hear anything for 4 months, and then all of a sudden I got that call.
Wow, that's lit. I heard about those things, man. I never got to, I mean, they weren't in New York, I don't think, but I definitely heard about them in LA, and that's what's up, man. I haven't heard anyone have that story yet. And, you know, they expedited your process and whatnot. And so you did that. You found out you were on the show. It's the night before you leave LA to go to London. Tell me what's going on through your head.
I'm like, honestly, I was so much in my mind because I kept giving myself scenarios and being like, okay, Shahn, what are you gonna do in this scenario? What are you gonna do in this scenario? What are you gonna do in this scenario? What's the perfect answer? In hindsight, I wish I didn't do that because I definitely just like overly stressed myself out, especially with the way things played out. There was no reason to do that. I needed to just tell myself that, you know what, expect the unexpected and just try to be focused in the moment. And so I kind of feel like I took a little bit of the enjoyment away because I was just so focused on like making sure I make the right decision. So it was just, yeah, it was, and then like packing to go to London and stuff. It was chaos.
My man was overthinking everything, man. He was like, "Look, I gotta be ready. You probably overtraining. Like I'm gonna be working out, and I gotta prepare for this. If they gotta swimming, and I gotta prepare if they gotta jump in boxes, like the whole nine. So,
Yo,
you know,
facts. Best believe I was hitting the weights. Working out is actually one of my favorite things to do, but I was hitting it real hard before the challenge, and I was like, just in case it gets physical.
yeah, your homies are probably like, "What? And you in the gym a lot? What's going on?"
Yeah.
Using that hyperbolic time chamber. Okay, okay. So you get to London, you get settled in the hotel. It's your last night in the hotel before you're about to enter the dorms. Now telling me what's going on through your head.
Bro, that was insane. So they just told us that in the evening, they're like, hey, game start tomorrow, be ready in the morning. And we're like, all right, well, when in the morning? They're like, don't worry about it, just be ready in the morning. And I was like, that's so whack that they give us those instructions. So like I can't sleep, right? And my clock is already kind of messed up being from LA, so it's just like midnight, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like I should really go to sleep. I think I sleep from like midnight to 2 a.m. And then I wake up and I was like, this is not happening. So I just changed into my full tracksuit that they give us, and I just sat there, and I was just like watching the TV that we had because we're isolated. So literally all we have is our TV. So I'm just sitting there and watching it, and then eventually they got us. I think it was 5 a.m. So
They got you early, man. So they come get you, round you up, and you finally go to the dorms. Tell me your initial thought when you get inside the dorms.
that is a moment in my life that I will never forget. It's like you step into a dream. It's you're literally walking onto the set of the show that you've seen in so many different ways on your TV, but now you're in it. And it's like one of the most special things I've ever experienced. Like I can't be thankful enough for that. Like my time was short, but like that moment is just so vibrantly living in my head. 'Cause I just couldn't believe it was happening. I was like, this is it. Like this is the real deal. It's happening. And yeah, it was just amazing.
Who are some of the players you got close with while entering the dorm?
Oh my gosh. So, they actually put us into cohorts, right? So I was a part of the green cohort, and that was like who we had lunch and dinner and breakfast with and things like that. So everyone in the green squad, we became, real tight. There were so many of us. There was like Tamara, Idris, Christian. There was just a lot of us, and we unfortunately all got eliminated together, which was whack as hell. Um, but we were aligned, and now that I think about it, we were so tight that even if we did advance, it would have been so sad because the next game was pentathlon, right? They put you into 10, and then they go 5-on-5. So we would have been taking each other out anyways. It's not like the alliance would have lasted long, and I'm pretty sure production knew that the cohorts would get tight, so they're like, yeah, we're gonna break them apart immediately.
Yeah, no, they had that in mind. They planned the whole thing out. That's treacherous because, with us, we didn't have any conversation in no hotel. It was isolation station, masks on, everything. So it was no friendly gatherings in there unless you came in with like a friend or a relative or something like that. So you're inside the dorms, mingling, talking to people and whatnot. And soon the guards come out and say you need to divide yourselves into two groups, X's or O's. Tell me your thought process when they decided to announce that.
Yeah, man, and it just the editing's crazy on the show, right? It makes it look like it happens like minutes, man. That was hours of letting like 50 people in at a time, and then everyone celebrates, and then you kind of just sit there and you're talking and stuff, and then production comes out. They're like, "Hey guys, the guards are coming, and so we need you to do this." The guards came and we cheered too much. They're like, stop cheering. You're supposed to be dying. This is a life or death show. Stop cheering when the front man comes out. So like Kobe stepping on the floor. You're like, yes. But so they had us correct that. But yeah, eventually they came out. They filmed it like 8 different times of the walk-in, and then they had the volunteers step forward, which was like a whole another thing as well. Then they actually had the volunteers play a game against each other where like they decided who would be on X and who would be on O.
Really? You're
So
the first one
yeah,
telling me this.
yeah, they didn't have that on the they didn't show that. So then that was how they decided who was gonna be X and who was gonna be O. And then me, how I decided on O, I swear to God, my mind, I don't know where my mind was. I was like, well, the O's are the good guys in the show, right? They're the ones who want to stop the game because the O is like, yes, let's stop the game. In actuality, it's yes, let's keep the game going. So I wanted to be an X, but then I was like, no, guys, we have to be O. Those are the good guys. And it was, 50-50 chance anyways. So we all just chose O. And then we sat down and then we started singing like, oh, 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 oh. And I was like, yeah, they're not going to put that on the show because they are not paying for that licensing.
Yeah, no, shoot, that'd be an expensive one right there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, what kind of game did they play?
Man, I'm not gonna put my personal feelings on what the game was. I'm just gonna tell you, as I'm sure you've seen, it was a counting game where you had to
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa,
count.
whoa. I meant like to decide
Oh,
X's and O's. Sorry.
that I think I honestly I forgot what the game was. I don't remember what it was, but I know they competed and then they had to and that's how they decided the sides.
Okay, okay. You decide to step on the side, football settings, and you separate rooms. The X's leave, you guys stay, and they tell you the rules are counting. Six, whoever gets closest wins, or if you go over, you lose, and whoever gets furthest away loses as well. So when you hear these rules, tell me what's going on in your head.
I was like, this is doable. I was like, this doesn't really seem that hard. I think I was like, as long as we just remain level headed, we get like maybe 4 counters, like we'll be fine. Like this isn't that hard. As hard as it is for us, is equally as hard as it'll be for the X's. So we'll be fine. That's was like my initial thought. I also did not like this game because I was like, I don't want to be on a team of 200 people doing this. Like this is not great. And then I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, how much am I going to interject in this? How much am I going to speak up? And just thinking about game planning from an individual perspective.
And it's tough getting, coming to consensus with all those people and everyone's yelling and this, that, and the third. And it's ultimately down to the person pressing the button too. Like maybe he's just acting a fool and self-sabotaging. You don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe he's a
That's
plot
right.
device and he's designed to get y'all out. That's what I've been going
Right?
through my head. I'm like, nah, man, what's going on? They got twins up here. They setting me up, man. So the game starts. Are you counting in your head too? Like, what are you doing while this game is going on?
Doug, I mean, so I wasn't counting in my head, but I feel like we just skipped like the real stuff of what happened. It was just the moment the game started, it was just straight chaos, bro. I've never been around such like little dick energy men in my life. In my life. Because these dudes were straight throwing hands. I'm not even exaggerating. They're putting their hands on each other. I don't even
Wait,
know who these
what?
players were, but
What?
they were just so ridiculous. Like the yelling at each other within just seconds. Like I understand now why in the drama they kill each other so fast. Like facts, every like half the people on O would have died before the count even started of the straight chaos. And so with that, it's very difficult to like get a good plan, right? Like you saw who our counter ended up being, and no disrespect to her, but that was not the right choice.
205, Ida.
Not the right choice, okay, at all. Especially, and a lot of people would share the sentiment when she was like, if this doesn't go right, don't you guys blame me. What? And also, not pictured, Ida was crying. She was bawling her eyes out. She did not want to do it. But Roger was like so insistent that he was like, she saves lives. She saves lives. And I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, okay. Um, so it was not great. And then Natasha went up too. Tasha's actually a musician, and she like I had a little more faith in her. The real dude who should have gone up, was Jacket, my boy. He's been training for this. He is a counter. He would have been great. But Roger legitimately said he's like, we must be gentlemen and let the ladies do this. I just don't see what the hell that has to do with anything, right? So Roger's also the op in this case because I don't know if anybody was a plot device, it was Roger, not to not to stir the pot, but that was what was happening, and so we only had about like a minute or two to what felt like a minute or two to kind of strategize because it took like 10 minutes to get everyone to calm down you know? So, they start the count and they're like, hey, we're counting. And legit, Ida doesn't start counting until 10 seconds after. She's like, should I start counting now? Like, now? And Jack is like, yes, start counting now. She's like, why? Because the guy said to start counting. And that's when I knew we lost. And that's when I wasn't counting.
I said, "Ah, man, here we go again." Ah, she didn't start counting till the late. That's crazy. I mean, when he says go, that's when you go. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, a lot of emo. It sounds like a lot of emotion went into place more than strategic mindset of picking the counter and the order of operations. And do you think, looking back, what would you have done differently in this case?
Oh man, I should have not stopped yelling. I should have went full like ape shit. I should have brought it harder than anyone else was being because like the thing is, right, you try to apply the rules of like normal society into this scenario where you're like, well, if you're yelling, I'm not going to start yelling too because I'm civilized, right? But this isn't real life, right? This is a fantasy land where you could just be killed. So you gotta play into that. And I think that ultimately, like if you just keep speaking up, you can get your point across, right? And for me, it would have just been get a goddamn musician, get a musician, only a musician, no one else. And just if anyone suggests anything otherwise, I'll just keep saying musician over and over again, right? Um, and that's what I feel like I should have done. But remember how I said earlier, I was like in my head about like, oh, how should I react to situations? Like one of the things I told myself was that in the beginning, if there were like highly contentious situations, I wouldn't involve myself in it because I wouldn't want a target on my back. But I didn't think that they would get rid of us in a group game this fast. Otherwise, I would have threw that out the window. Like everybody thought it was gonna be red light, green light, right? So I figured do that first, make it to like the top 300, then start interjecting. But you gotta roll with the cards you got, which is what I should have done.
Yeah, man, all strategy gets thrown out the window. I mean, yeah, and especially unfortunately for y'all is they did red light, green light in season 2, first game. They did the season 1 red light, green light first game, but for y'all, they did some. I don't even know where they found this game from. You know, I
Yeah,
don't know.
honestly, there's like rumors that like it should have been that it was gonna be red light, green light, but they didn't because it was raining. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but yeah, no, it was a weird choice. It definitely felt like it was put together. I'm sure there's something in the background um that led to that happening. I just can't imagine that was the first choice.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of follow your take with that because for our season, there was a couple games that felt real, just like last minute we're throwing this together. Like when they had the dice game, they just brought out some dice and like, all right, roll the dice and this is the rules and people are out because of it. There was no setup. Like your guys' game, there's no setup. All you had to do was put an X out there. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
And the button could have even been like fake. They just had to put a light under it and you press it and then you go. Not like fake, but like
exactly.
there wasn't
Yeah,
an explosion when you press the button. There wasn't anything that happened except a light up. That's it. And that's easy to put together in 10 minutes. You can put that together in an hour, let alone, you know, maybe, I don't know if they do or not, but maybe they do red light, green light later in the season. Who knows? And then they had to save it for now, you know?
yeah, agreed,
So
agreed. And I will say this, I'm not sure if they'll be okay with me saying this, but one of the things they gave us in our tracksuits was they gave us like an underlayer that was going to keep us warm from like the elements and things like that. But the day before the game started, they took that back, and nobody knows why. So maybe they were like, it's going to be too cold anyways for red light, green light because it's raining, so we don't want all the problems from last year. So let's just switch it up. But who
that's
knows?
very possible. That's very possible because they was getting threatened last year, and
Yeah,
it was crazy. I mean, people were passing out. Somebody literally standing straight up and just fell straight back. Like, it wasn't a
yo,
game. I mean, especially for the time limit it was going on. So maybe somebody was like, "Hey, this will be better idea. Let's do this. This idea will be great." And everyone's like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, trust me." And then they bought into it, and that's the higher ups and whatnot. But we'll never know that unless they come out with a documentary 50 years later. But
I'm sure we'll get the tea eventually.
yeah, eventually. But yeah, so you end up picking a circle. Your team unfortunately loses. We find out. Y'all die in dramatic fashion. I mean, y'all kills were Oscar worthy, I'll give y'all that. Y'all played the part. It felt like I was seeing a whole bunch of dominoes go down the
Yeah,
wayside.
yeah, nah, that was really cool, man. I mean, like, honestly, I was so mad. I can feel that anger in me. I can remember how upset I was because I knew we lost. Everybody knew we lost. If anyone was acting like we won, they were just being delusional. But like, we all knew we lost. And then, then they start checking our squid packs, right? This is like a 4 hour process, by the way. They start checking our squid packs, and we're like, why would they be checking our squid packs if we didn't lose, right? So we knew what was coming, and then they put us on the screen. They put the X's on the screen. We're all holding hands and stuff like that. I told myself, I was like, I'm not gonna fall. I'm not doing this. I was like, I'm gonna stand up because I'm so mad right now. So this thing can explode. I'm just gonna stand up. And I was gonna do that, and then, when it happens, it's insane because people just start screaming and it kind of freaks you out, right? And I was like, oh man, like this is really scary. So it just happened, and then I heard the packs go off behind me. Next thing I know, homie in front of me just falls directly onto me. So I had to fall back because this dude was ready to sell the part. Yeah, so I had to fall back, and it's really funny too because I'm in the trailer, and you just see me on the floor, and my eyes are open, and you can just see like the anger and the furiousness just going, just exuding off my body. I'm just there, my eyes are open, my hands are on my chest, and I remember thinking to myself that like I just cannot believe I got eliminated in the first game. I simply cannot believe this. I I know this is the game of luck. I know that things happen, but I truly believe that I would not be the first person eliminated. I just didn't see that happening. And yet it did. And I was like, in 5 days, the experience is over. A year of interviewing and all this stuff, and it's just down the drain. And I remember just being so mad. I wouldn't even leave the set, not the set, but like the place where everything is. I was like, I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna catch the last bus because I want to enjoy this experience some more. I just started eating. all the protein bars and stuff that they had, and I was just talking to my cohort, and we're all just like super pissed off, and we're all just complaining to each other. And that's where I got a lot of the feedback from like Jacket and stuff about like, oh, this is how it should have been, and this is what we were trying to do. Because they don't show it, but they legit tackled Jacket when he was trying to tell them they were counting too slow, but they didn't show that at all. Yeah. And because the Jacket had an agreement with Tasha that was like, when I get to 400, I'm gonna tap you and we can see where we're at. But then like everyone, like I said, Lil Dick Energy, everyone just started getting really feisty. Like they were like, no, we have to enforce this whatever these counters that we have, even though one of them was really bad. So I was getting that from Jagged, and everybody disliked Jagged for a long time in the group chat. They were like, "Oh, he sabotaged us, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Guys, Jagged was the only one that actually knew what he was doing. We just gave it to a mob rule, and so we think that's what happened."
Yeah, nah, that's crazy. I mean, it's funny you mentioned him. He popped up on my Instagram recently because I did a whole deep dive on all the players and what not deep. Well, I went through every single player on the cast and just gave my initial impression. But I happened to click on his Instagram and I saw his story, and I think his story might go into why people feel some type of way. You know what I mean? So that's just my 2 cents from afar, from afar. So if maybe it is,
Okay.
maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm reading too deep into it after what you told me just now because I had no idea about all these things. So who knows? But that's unfortunate to hear, man. Shout out Jacket, man. You a real one out there. Keep doing
Jeez.
your thing.
Yeah, he's the
So you get
homie
back to the
too.
hotel. Tell me how you feeling when you went to the hotel. You still like pissed off? I'm assuming.
I mean, I was just so upset. I had to like call my significant other at the time and just be like, I'm a loser. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, right, the moment you get that call and like you see that caller ID, like he's been eliminated. And obviously there's no judgment and things like that from your loved ones, but it is just, man, it is a sucky feeling to just be like, yeah, like I guess I'm coming home.
Yeah. No, it's a tough pill to swallow. You got to need a lot of water for that pill, man. But
Yeah,
it's
facts.
necessary. So you leave London. Finally, you get back to LA. Now, tell me how you feeling.
It's like I don't know. It's like an empty feeling. It's like you feel like you trained for something and you got absolutely nothing out of it, which isn't true. Obviously, I got a lot of new friends, a lot of good experiences. There were still 100,000 people that applied, and 456 chosen. It's still like a really big accomplishment. But you definitely feel gypped, right? Like you feel like there's a part of the experience that you should have gotten, but you didn't. And I have a philosophy on life that really helped me in that case where I was like, you take a lot more L's in life than you do W's. And it's really important that you get comfortable with those L's because a lot of it has very little to do with you. Of course the preparation and things like that fall on you, but so much of it is just based on luck. So I was like, this is just one of those cases where you just caught the L and you just gotta be okay with that. Like sometimes you catch the L and sometimes you catch the W. And you just gotta be okay with it and you move forward.
Facts, man. Take it on the chin. Don't let it hold you down. Keep moving. Take your sulking. Do get that in, but get it out. Because especially coming from that, when I got out, I was home for 2 days, didn't go outside. Like I couldn't talk to nobody. So I understand, that feeling of like emptiness and you're missing out and you're in the FOMO and just everything that's going on. So, but low key, once more people get out, that makes you feel a little bit better.
No,
So,
facts. And then like a lot of people did get out. Like the pentathlon, eliminated like another half of
yeah.
everybody else, right? So it dwindled down to 100 real quick. So that felt good. But what did not feel good is that it got back to the players really fast that the twin was back in the game
Oh,
and
I know y'all
nobody
was
liked
hot.
that.
I know y'all was
Yeah,
hot.
nobody
Woo!
liked that. And honestly, like I think that is probably one of the things I'm more upset about because I'm just like, well, you should just got eliminated. But I get that production's like what makes for a good storyline. They're like, let's just bring him back, and they're like, we're gonna and then the show would say we're bringing you back because you volunteered, you was brave, and I was like, all right, sure, whatever, But it makes for a good story if the twins are together versus being separated. And I respect that. It is a TV show after all, and they got to make it interesting, and they gotta sell it to the people.
What really would have been interesting if they said, okay, you guys lost, but twin, you can pick 4 of the people to go with you. That would have been like, ooh, out of all these people, who he gonna pick to bring with him? That would have caused chaos, and I would have loved to see that. I mean, I have a production mind too, so that I would have been like, we got to do that because
Yeah.
that's
That
gonna
would have
be
been
more
good.
drama.
And then he has to replace those 4 people from the O side. And because, he eliminated 3 anyways. Yeah, that would have been interesting. That
That
would
would
have
have
been
been
interesting.
crazy. They want to do
Yeah,
twists. Let's do twists.
I agree. I agree.
Well, that is unfortunate, man. You got robbed. All y'all O's did, man. And that was sadly the end. Can you tell me the biggest lesson you learned from this experience?
Man, the biggest lesson, man, enjoy the moment. Don't overthink things. Like there is a certain point of preparation where you're like too prepared. Like I think I could have definitely enjoyed this experience more if I just chilled out. And I was like, you know what? I truly don't know what's gonna happen. I could sit here and play Gongi all I want in my room, but I don't know if I'm gonna actually play it in the game. Like, let me just enjoy the experience. I think that'd be my biggest takeaway, and I think that's a lesson for life as well, right? You just kind of gotta adjust to the punches as they come. Like you cannot predict what's gonna happen, no matter how much you try, no matter how much you think you know what's gonna happen. You just don't.
Yeah, you just got to kind of roll with the punches and, you know, let God take the steering wheel and you just jump accordingly into the right hole. So,
That's right.
well, man, you did excellent for what time you had. I know you did what you could and you had the right strategy going down. The cards just wasn't in your favor in this point of time. You got dealt a 2 and a 7, and that hand never wins the game. But I got high promise that you about to do some good things coming up. Maybe season 3. Who knows? We don't know, man. But
Yeah, we
the
never
moon.
know. You never
You
know
never
who might be
know.
popping up from season 2.
You never know. You never know. Well, thank you so much for joining me, my man. If the people want to follow you and follow your journey, where can they find you at?
Yo, you can find me at Shahn Bendz on all socials. That's ethnic Shahn, so it's 2 H's, ShahnBendz. Primarily popping off on Instagram, but I'm cross posting to TikTok and YouTube Shorts more as well. So let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Get on that Facebook too now. You gotta get
That's
on
right.
Facebook.
That's right. Yeah.
Facebook's starting to come up now. I just started,
You're right.
Facebook.
You're right. That's Facebook is another one, especially with the meta ads and the integration they got going on. Yeah. Yeah, you
This
know
this
what's up.
is working, man. I'm here to push it on, give out the energy, and give out the clues and the tips on how to get it popping. Because my stuff's been popping lately, and I just want to give out that same energy. So,
Appreciate that, player.
well, cool, Shahn. Thank you so much. Looking forward to meeting you, and I had a great time talking with you today.
Likewise, man. Philly's gonna be lit. Can't wait.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be up. And for everybody else back home, thank you for joining and watching. Till next time, peace, blessings, deuces, and have a great rest of your day.